Hello again. This is Gary Alexander, your state representative from the 20th District, representing Lewis County and parts of Thurston County, including the cities of Bacota, Maytown, Rochester, Tenino, and parts of Rainier. I'm reporting to you from the 2012 legislative session here in Olympia. With just a few more days left in this 60-day session, we've finally seen the first budget put out by the majority party in the House. I want you to know that I have serious concerns about the sustainability of their budget proposal. They continue to kick the budget can down the road by using an accounting gimmick to push over $400 million in payments to education, including about $75 million in your levy equalization funds, into the next biennial budget period. This means before budget writers even sit down next year to write a budget, we will start with an additional $400 million in the hole. This is just credit card budgeting at its worst. It's a gimmick, and in no way should it be part of our budget process. Education should get our first dollar, not our last dime. They also cut several vital services for our most vulnerable populations, including programs designed to help our development disabled find work and live independently. Again, if we're prioritizing our spending, don't those people who are in need of our help the most, through no fault of their own, take precedence over having another scientist in a stream somewhere? I'm also very disappointed that their budget plays political games with critical access hospitals. Isn't it interesting that in the majority party's budget, state funding is reduced for critical access hospitals only located in Republican districts? In fact, when they realized that the funding formula they used would have also cut funding for one hospital in a Democrat district, they quickly passed an amendment in their budget committee to make sure that hospital was kept whole. Playing politics with health care services that many in our rural counties depend on is not only shameful, it is not a good budgeting practice. Another issue that has me greatly concerned is an apparent end run around the voter-approved two-thirds vote requirements for the legislature to raise taxes, an initiative that you passed. The majority party makes several cuts to local governments, but then gives those local governments the authority to raise their taxes to buy back those cuts. And they can do this with a simple majority vote. In other words, instead of trying to make the case for a tax increase at the state level, where a two-thirds vote is required, they cut funding at the local level and then rely on local taxes being raised with a 50% majority. Basically, they are saying, we aren't raising your taxes, all the while telling local governments, here you go raise the taxes. If that doesn't violate the spirit and intent of the many initiatives, including Initiative 1063, that limits the state's ability to raise your taxes, I don't know what does. It looks to me like they found the ultimate tax loophole, and they are quick to exploit it. A bill in front of us right now, House Bill 2801, which in this legislature will allow things to happen that you can't believe, is over 100 pages long. The bill report, which is usually 1 or 2 pages, is 13 pages. It is full of tax increases that local governments can impose on you as citizens. Here are just a few. It allows local governments, cities and counties, to impose a half% sales tax on food and beverages sold by restaurants, taverns, and bars. It eliminates the voter-approved requirement for county sales tax for building and operating juvenile justice facilities and other public safety issues. And it allows counties to impose a 6% utility tax on unincorporated areas. These are just a few of the many provisions in this bill. I find this bill very apprehensive, and I don't believe we'll see many votes for this bill today. It shifts the financial burden of many programs and services to local governments, but then it allows local governments again to raise the taxes. This is disingenuous to taxpayers, and in my estimation, it's an irresponsible way to pass budget. I'll be working these last few days of session to try to include some of our common sense solutions into the final budget proposals. Solutions that don't cut levy equalizations, put education first, solutions that don't cut funding for critical access hospitals, solutions that don't include taxes and fee increases at our local government levels. It's going to be a tough budget session for the remaining few days, but I'll work for your best interests, and I'll keep you updated as best I can on our efforts. Until next time, this is Representative Gary Alexander from the 20th District, coming to you from the 2012 legislative session in Olympia. Thank you so much for tuning in.